today I have a brand new series, another one. Last week we had Dear Dumb Diary, and this week we're going to have A to Z Mysteries. There's a whole series, and I bet you can guess how many are in the series, can't you, if it's A to Z Mysteries? So I went straight to the last one and got the Zombie Zone. So I thought we'd read the first chapter of A to Z Mysteries. These are all by Ron Roy. So all the books in the series are by the same author. And each one of the books is available for you to take AR tests on. Z is for zombie. The moonlight touched the fence and the gravestones. The two empty graves were black holes with mounds of dirt piled next to them. I guess I was wrong, Dink whispered. I thought for sure. Suddenly, Josh slapped his hand over Dink's mouth. Then Dink heard Ruth Rose gasp. One of the empty graves was glowing. As the kids watched, two hands emerged, grabbing at the edge of the hole. And that's the introduction to the Zombie Zone. The map at the first of the book gives you an idea of the setting of the book. You can see they're near the Gulf of Mexico and New Orleans. Some of you may have been to New Orleans before, so you know that it is really an area that believes a lot in the supernatural, like zombies and ghosts. Chapter 1. Ruth Rose's grandmother set her paint box on the sidewalk in front of their hotel. They were in New Orleans, Louisiana. Ruth Rose's Graham was visiting the city to take a painting course, and she had invited Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose to join her. What are you going to paint today? Ruth Rose asked her grandmother. Ruth Rose liked to dress in one color, and today's color was robin eggs blue. Everything matched perfectly, down to her blue socks and sneakers. I don't know yet, said her grandmother. Our art teacher tells us. I'd love to paint one of these charming old buildings with the balconies and the creeping ivy. Thanks again for bringing us, Dink said. His real name was Donald David Duncan, but ever since he was little, his nickname had been Dink. And thanks for hiring Jack to show us the bio, Josh added. You're very welcome, Ruth Rose's grandmother said. Where is he taking you today? We're going on a hike, Josh said. We're visiting a community in the woods, Ruth Rose said. He said the people there live in huts with no electricity. That sounds fascinating, Ruth Rose's grandmother said. Oh, here's Jack's van. Have fun, and I'll see you at lunch. The kids watched Ruth Rose's grandmother stride away with her paint box under one arm. A van pulled up to the curb. It was painted all over with trees and vines and flowers, and on one side was an alligator with the words Gator Guide spilling out of its mouth. A tall man in boots, shorts, and a t-shirt hopped out. He had light hair and a deep tan. Hey, kids, ready for a nice hike? He asked. Hi, Jack, the kids all said. Josh and Ruth Rose piled in the back seat of the van as Jack climbed in the driver's seat and Dink sat in the front passenger seat. Buckle up, Jack said. While the kids fastened their seat belts, Jack handed Dink a can of bug spray. There'll be a lot of flying critters where we're going, he said. The kids sprayed their arms and legs while Jack guided the van through the busy city. Dink saw a lot of people jogging, walking dogs, or eating breakfast at little sidewalk tables. One woman strolled along with a parrot on her shoulder. We'll be hiking through a beautiful forest today, Jack told the kids as he drove, and we'll meet those people I told you about. Why don't they live in the city like everyone else? Ruth Rose asked. Not everyone likes city life, Jack explained. The folks you'll meet today would rather live the old-fashioned way. They grow most of their own food and hunt or fish for the rest. But don't they miss TV and computers? Josh asked. Jack laughed. The kids go to school in town, so they probably know about that stuff, he said. And here you can see where they're driving down one of the crowded streets in New Orleans, and the van that says Gator Guide on the side. There's the people having their breakfast at a tiny table outside. But without electricity, how do they cook? Dink asked. On open fires, Jack said. Most of them have simple stoves made from clay and rocks. Dink pictured his parents cooking all of their meals outside, and he smiled. The road became narrower until the van was bumping along over a gravel road. Tall trees lined the road, and grayish-green Spanish moss dripped from the branches. Through the open windows, Dink could hear birds and smell sweet dampness. Jack's cell phone started ringing, and he pulled the van to the side of the road so he could stop and chat for a minute. That was my wife, he told the kids. We're expecting our first baby any day now. Cool, Josh said as Jack continued driving. Will you take him on hikes? The baby could just as easily be a girl, you know. Either way, he or she will definitely be a hiker, Jack said. Soon Jack parked the van in a small clearing off the road. Behind them was a sunny gravel road, and in front of them was a dark wall of trees and moss and shrubbery. The kids and Jack climbed out of the van, and the air was muggy and full of tiny bugs flying around their faces. Jack put his backpack over one shoulder and pointed to a sign. The words Old Forest Trail had been stamped onto it. Here's where the trail starts, he said. Watch the ground for tree roots. Are there any snakes around here? Josh asked, stepping back quickly to stay behind Jack. Probably, said Jack, but we won't see 'em. As soon as they feel our footsteps, they'll take off. They walked in single file. Jack was first, with Josh right behind him. Ruth Rose was behind Josh, and Dink brought up the rear. The trail was narrow, and it curved around the trees. Moss hung in their faces, and roots tried to trip them. The buzz of insects was everywhere. Dink's skin already felt sweaty as he swatted bugs. He noticed a few narrower trails leading off the main one, and he peered down one of those when suddenly he tripped and landed right on his hands and knees. You all right? Jack asked when he turned around. And when Dink looked up, he saw a small sign nailed to the tree, and someone had painted 3 words in red. It said, Danger, Zombie Zone. So that was our first chapter of The Zombie Zone of the A to Z Mysteries by Ron Roy. This book and all the books of the A to Z Mystery Series are available in the Williams Magnet Library. But if you're a virtual student, you can always use your CALS Tech card and access these books online. If this is a book that interests you, be sure and let me know. Hope you have a great week.